I know my trinary coding friends are out there, and I'm not acting like I'm seasoned in any of it. But I just got a question. Have any of you? Because I know trinary code is based on, they say like 1 to 0 is like binary code, and trinary code goes into like 2 to 0s. It's essentially anything over the 1 to 0 thing that supposedly controls all the computers. I've saw research about this. However, I'm wondering, has anybody saw a stretch where trinary code was able to go at least 50 days, like with no type of annuity, meaning with no 1 to 0 binary code? And I'm asking this because if not, then trinary code still has a little bit of work to do. And this is going into some more deep technical type of talk, but I know that we have those that call this out there because I've been watching the videos that understand this. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, so this is more so for that group. But I guess what I'm getting at is that if trinary code doesn't succeed with this 50-day tenure, then it's not effective. And then I can take you into the next lesson to help you to understand what I mean. Now, again, I'm gonna explain it one more time. Trinary code is essentially dealing with really like the real truth about it. I don't know if they understand it. They say it's like getting out of 1 to 0 and going into 2 to 0, but it's really dealing with several existing trees, several though, that connect to the internet. That's truly what it's about. That's the true secret, and it goes into the Kabbalah. When you talk about the tree of life. Now, I know in the technical world, trinary code goes into like I said, 2 to 0 annuities. Well, not annuities, but 2 to 0. Anything over that is considered trinary code for a period of time because of the coding. They set up different. They want to get out of the 1 to 0 code. So I understand that, but I'm getting into the card aspect of it. It's tied into a tree. And what's happening is now it's clashing. The trinary code, from my research, is going in debt to the annuity still. Because you don't have as many annuities dropping, but what's happening now is that when the annuities are falling, they're very expensive. Because I'm going into some of these 1 to 0 games that I've been looking at. They're very expensive. And trinary code is dealing with groups. It's going into the age of Aquarius, and that's very, very expensive, even more expensive. And if trinary code is going to be successful, it has to visa the annuity. And I have not, even in national hockey, have not saw that yet. A lot of teams came close, but I call it Death's Gate until they master Death's Gate and be able to go into what's called the resurrection aspect and really prove that. I'm just wondering, like, is anybody out there, based on their research, has any true research on the number 4? That's what I want to go into. And like the number 4, is it truly the number 4? Is it really an annuity? And if that's the case, if it's really truly an annuity, meaning that they're just starting over and numbers count like 1, 2, 3, and then at 4 they start over back into 1. If that's the case, then trinary code has to successfully make it through what's called the resurrection gate. Meaning it has to master the number 4. And this may not mean a lot to you now, but in the future, this is going to mean a lot. Like right now, this is probably going to go over a lot of people's heads. This is getting into like numbers and sacred geometry and stuff like that. But until this happens, the trinary code, which is, I think, how the pyramids were constructed, partially on that type of doctrine, but going into some deeper sciences too. But until that happens, we still kind of like in a middle point. Like we're in kind of like what they would call purgatory. That's what's happening now scientifically with time, because trinary code goes into time, and time is now being affected with the clash of binary and trinary code. It's deep. And this is kind of like the judgment. So I'm just wondering, from any research, if anybody has any techies or whatever has any good research on the number 4 and that really being a part of the number cycle, or is there a problem there, and should it start over? I mean, we can still look at it as the number 4, but what I mean is that on that level of 4, we might have to eventually go into adding in an annuity, because it does start over and it goes 4, 5, 6, like it's CeeLo. Then it goes 7, 8, 9, so it'll be 3 stages of numbers. Essentially is where I'm getting at. And if that's the case, you can't come in talking about 4 and you haven't started over yet. And I think that's the problem or whatever. So until that happens, it could cause, I mean, we're talking about millions of dollars that overstand numbers on a deep level. And that's why a lot of so-called wealthy people deal with me. But yeah, this is going into the Kabbalah. It could possibly take us into the tree of life, which goes into higher numbers, but I'm not going to really focus on that. My question is the number 4 in any type of metaphysical, not even really just a question, but something I want people to share in the comments, hopefully. Just any research on the number 4 or with any positive enlightenment you could offer would be greatly appreciated. Stay vigilant.